guys, welcome back. In my previous video we introduced the idea of radians, and we also kind of derived the relationship between the radians and the degrees. So finally guys, we had this relationship that 2 pi radians is equal to 360 degrees. So guys, we are going to use this. We're going to kind of, in this video, we're going to kind of look at this carefully, and then we're going to start using it to actually convert from degrees to radians and radians back to degrees. So guys, if 2 pi radians is 360 degrees, then let us look at it also from a visual. So let's say this is that unit circle. So as we complete one complete revolution around this unit circle, we know we complete we get 360 degrees, and at the same time we get 2 pi radians. Now based on that guys, if I if I divide both sides by 2, then I will get pi radians equals to 180 degrees. So how does that translate in terms of in the unit circle? So guys, this here is 0 degrees. At the same time, if I go around once, then I have 360 degrees. At the same time guys, if I start from here and I go up to here, then this is 90 degrees. Then if I go more up to this point right here, then I have covered 180. Again, if I go up here, and here we are assuming we're going in counterclockwise, so that's why all the angles are measured as positive, but we can do that. We can do the same thing if we go clockwise, they will be measured as negative angles. Then it's 180 here, then you add 90 more, because you can see that these are like 4 equal pieces of 300. We're trying to break 360 into 4 equal pieces, right? So 4 quarters, 180, then this would be 270, and then you get back to 360. Similarly guys, 180 would be equivalent to, so 360 would be equivalent to 2 pi radians, and 180 will be half of that. That will be pi radians, which we can see here mathematically as well. Similarly guys, we should be able to figure out what is 90. So 90 is basically 1/4 of the 360, and if we have to convert it into radians, we know it is going to be 1/4 of 2 pi. So it is 2 pi over 4, which is going to be just simply pi over 2 radians. Similarly guys, if we have to figure this out, so this is pi, and then you have to add pi over 2, because this much is pi over 2, so it is like pi plus pi over 2, and there are other ways of finding this. So it would be 3 pi over 2 radians. So that's how we can basically figure out all these 4 different points on the unit circle. We know the degree measures, and now we also know the radian measure. So that is something that we should try to remember. It's not too complicated. We should understand the relationship. Once we understand this basic relationship, then we can get all of these angle measures. Now, for calculation purposes, guys, we like to use this ratio rather than the 2 pi thing. I mean, it's up to you which one you want to use, but guys, it is easier, or you can say more convenient, to use pi radians is 180 degrees. So we should try to use this to convert. I mean, we can also use the other one, the one that we started with, but I think it is going to be easier to use this one. Guys, with this one, there's few different things that people like to do. One is just kind of set up the ratios, and the other thing that people like to remember is, like, it's up to you whether you want to remember that. Not a big deal, guys. The thing here is, if we want to convert from radians to degrees, then what we do is we multiply by the ratio 180 over pi. We multiply by this ratio. And if we have to go the other way, which means if we have to go from degrees to radian, so if I have to go from degree to radian, then we multiply by pi over 180. So sometimes people like to just use those ratios to actually simplify this. From degree to radian, multiply by pi over 180, and from radian to degree, multiply by 180 over pi. But guys, I don't really like to remember this like this. I mean, I can see how it works, but we can always set up a ratio, and once you understand how this thing works, then you can also use these ratios, like just to multiply them and get it converted from one unit to the other unit. So guys, this is some basic information about how to convert and how to represent these things on a unit circle. Now in my next video, we're going to actually start looking at some examples. Till then, take care. See you next time.